CNC. This is our 4th game together of the day,
10 seconds
and
remaining.
he's been killing it. If there are any
5
CCNC
seconds remaining.
subscribers out there, give a what's your favorite sub
Reserve
emote?
time.
CCNC.
That I have? Or
Yes, of yours.
CCNC gracious?
Give them those. Throw those up. Oh man, I'm not partnered, so I don't have anything. So
GG.
yeah, give some feels amazing, man. That's probably my favorite one. So fucking funny. Anyway, we're here for Dota, not about people no one cares about. Infamous getting rid of that Slardar. That Slardar was
Dire
destroying them.
Yeah, it definitely had a huge impact. What banned last game? I forget, but they left out
Drew?
one of the heroes.
10 seconds
Drew
remaining.
actually hasn't been touched. That's interesting. Something was banned, but
5
they DooWop left
seconds
that
remaining.
out, and Infamous banning up the Slardar. So since DooWop had the first pick,
Reserve
able to
time.
get up that Ember Spirit. So one of the most contested picks this patch, with the stupid level 10 magic damage, as well as the Veil. It's just so much damage, and it's had an insane win rate.
Well, we will see if the win rate stands up to the challenge. DooWop are Radiant as well, right? I think Radiant Ember Spirit is...
Dire team.
Oh man, it's got something like a 63% win rate or something like that. Something strong, something high.
Yeah, in the first couple of days of Dota Pit, it had like a 90% win rate.
Oh my god.
10 seconds remaining.
That's... I'm surprised that didn't receive like an
5
instant
seconds remaining.
nerf. Because I remember, what was it,
That's not how Ice Frog rolls.
the Centaur Manta illusion spam back when the return would
Radiant
affect the
team
towers.
pick.
After like one day of that at a tournament, it got nerfed.
Dire team.
Yeah,
back.
they treated that as if it was a bug.
Mm.
It was like it said fixed, not changed. So it was like that
Radiant
wasn't
team
intended.
back.
I guess Ember Spirit having balance in all things is completely intended. Kappa. So we have...
Yep.
Dire team back.
So Infamous return with the Ogre Lifestealer, and DooWop immediately with the Darkseer afterward. I really like this Darkseer pick. It's super good in combination with the Ember Spirit because it is a core that can just run in with the Iron Shell combined with the Flame Guard. It's just unbelievable
10
amounts of
seconds
damage over time. Darkseer also very good versus
5
Lifestealer
seconds
because
remaining.
Lifestealer a hero that likes to walk around in vehicles and
Radiant team back.
try and get pickoffs. The Darkseer able to shove in the lanes non-stop with these ion shells, so it gives you a lot of information on where the Lifestealer is and where they're rotating to, so you can predict it. The Surge also very good versus Open Wounds, a hero that buys max, so you can maybe keep your teammates alive. And also be quite good versus the Lifestealer in lane, because Lifestealer has a very hard time killing him. And I'm not sure why they took the Ogre, but maybe just something they value think is good versus Ember or something. But the Stun is sort of hard to hit versus the Ember. You could dodge
10
it quite easily with the
seconds
Slight, or cancel his animation with the Slight and cancel it again with the
5
Remnants.
seconds remaining.
Overall, just kind of an odd Ogre pick, but we'll see how they put it to
Radiant
use. Centaur
team
third
pick.
pick.
I really love Centaur. I mean, I'm on the Suns fan train. I don't know if his Aghanims is good enough to pick up,
10
but
seconds remaining.
Stampede is just, I think, one of the best like
5
fight-oriented
seconds remaining.
skills. If your team is just focused on beating the ever-living shit out of the enemy team. If you're about all that,
time.
finesse, wombo combo, sure, maybe it's not the best, but with something like an Ogre Lifestealer, and then you Stampede, you just run at the enemy, beat them up real quick, stun them. And DooWop are going to
Dire
counter that, and they'll
team
say, we can run at you even better.
Yeah, another really good Ion Shell hero. The BKB piercing stuns very good versus the Lifestealer at disabling him while he's raged. Yeah, the Centaur third pick
10 seconds
can do
remaining.
very well versus the Darkseer, or can do decently well versus the Darkseer in a 1v1.
5 seconds
If they
remaining.
do choose to do that, if they choose to aggro tri-lane, we'll have to see. Okay, so they're not
Radiant
aggro
team
tri-lane.
pick.
The most they may do an aggressive dual lane. with the Centaur Ogre, and then have this Oracle Lifestealer in the safe lane. The Oracle, obviously, a direct counter to the Darkseer. Purging the stuns off the Spiritbreaker can be nice. The Spiritbreaker
10
stuns,
seconds
but
remaining.
I kind of worry that they may get massively out-farmed because their supports are very, very
5
single target
seconds
oriented.
remaining.
And Slark so far is extremely good this game. I think DooWop may snatch up Slark right here.
Reserve time.
Because the Darkseer can always just go jungle, get up a very, very quick level 5, and then come back to the lane and not really care too much about this Oracle's presence in the lane against him. So I think Infamous may have the potential to just get massively like run at with a couple of items from DooWop. There's Infamous. Their supports are, like I said, just extremely single target focused. Ogre, has the stun or whatever he can use, can do a lot of work, and then Bloodlust on the cores, but
How
Team
horrible would a
back.
Huskar pick be here for Infamous? I mean,
might do
theoretically, it'd be better with the Dazzle, but I mean, not to flame, but Infamous are Peru. And
I mean,
think Peru
Kotaro invented Huskar.
10 seconds remaining.
yeah, like they do some silly stuff.
5 seconds remaining.
Kotaro was the first player to play Huskar at like the armlet before boots.
Reserve time.
He used to spam it in any pubs whenever Huskar was good, and it was just a massive scourge. He's really good at Huskar, good at armlet toggling. Just basically just invented that hero. I think it's a possibility. I may actually ban it out as it is pretty good versus Ember Spirits. Kind of crushes him in lane if they do run like a mid Ember Spirit with an Ogre helping him out. Could be a possibility. Spiritbreaker and Dazzle, not the greatest heroes at helping out a dual lane mid. Dazzle's okay, but he kind of wants to be bottom, helping out whatever their safe lane is against the Centaur.
Mhm.
So we'll have to see. It's possible it's a Huskar game. We'll see if DooWop bans it out.
I've got my fingers crossed, man. Huskar games are always so funny. You either win really hard or you lose really hard.
Yeah, I would say the latter is more common, but
yeah, that is true. So let's see. What would Thick complete DooWop? They need their one position. I mean,
Yeah.
Juggernaut's banned. There's the Lifestealer already picked up. There's still Luna, but I don't
10
like that.
seconds
I don't think
remaining.
Luna would fit in very well with the rest of this.
5
I
seconds
think
remaining.
Luna's not the worst thing in the world. It's quite good versus the Lifestealer. I'm surprised the Laundry.
Radiant team
And it's
back.
surprising how, compared to like NP and DC, how these teams value Laundry, but I guess just not thinking it's amazingly strong. Was very good this game for sure, the Laundry. The Slark's still out there. Like I said, very good versus these heroes. None of
10
them deal with a
seconds
Slark that
remaining.
well at all. And another really great Ion Shell user. They do sort of
5
have some building
seconds
hitting
remaining.
issues with an Ember Spirit and a Slark. So it would be very kill oriented, snowballing early, and then some map control.
Radiant
We'll have to see,
team
banning out the
pick.
Invoker, so obviously a very good candidate as it is good versus the Ember Spirit. Good versus this running use style as you can just counter initiate with the EMP Tornado and then turn around these fights.
Mhm.
Okay, so the
There's
Weaver.
the Weaver.
So another
Team
slippery
pick.
core that's very good against heroes with low lockdown. And I also think DooWop just don't value the Slark very much. They don't think he's very good. Most of their players. So they do go for the Weaver. A very good Weaver game. Only real way they have to
10
kill him right now is the
seconds
Centaur
remaining.
stop, which is, that requires a Blink Dagger, and most Centaurs don't go Blink first, so you're
5
looking
seconds
4k
remaining.
gold worth of items, not counting boots and TPs and all that, before you have even a possible chance of killing this
Reserve
Weaver.
time.
And by then, he'll probably have some survivability items, but
No Huskar,
OD.
sadly. OD probably the smarter pick there.
yeah, for sure, the Huskar versus the Weaver is unplayable. They would have surely lost if they picked Huskar. Yeah, the OD, good versus the Ember Spirit in the mid game is you can just sort of pummel him down, you go Hex later on in the game, and you can almost always solo kill the Ember. It is kind of good for the Ember in lane because the OD can never break your flame shield past level 1 flame shield, so the lane is definitely fine for Ember, should break even in the lane. OD good versus the Dazzle as you can get in stacks while they're graves, so it's not the worst thing in the world there. You can save heroes, save yourself that are getting charged. They have a lot of save on Infamous. And they have a
10
reasonable amount of
seconds
single target. On DooWop, they have the Spirit Breaker, they have Weaver that sort of lock on a single target heroes.
5
They also have the Ember
seconds
Spirit and the
remaining.
Darkseer. So Infamous is very single target oriented. They'll get kited and, out. They don't really have the best catch in Aurora, just about, in these fights, you know, jumping in, sort of running at everybody and killing individual targets. But with the Grave, Darkseer will have a quick mech most probably, and the Weaver very slippery. The Weaver and Ember very slippery cores that are hard to bring down. I worry for Infamous again. I think DooWop has probably gotten the better draft.
And I mean, I think that could be said just for the fact that they got Ember, just with how strong that hero is. But there is the lifestealer on the enemy team, which is, you know, he has the rage. OD, I think, can deal with the Ember, kinda.
Yeah, the OD is if they have a good start and they're able to buff up this OD, they have the Bloodlust to deal with him. The Centaur as well works really well with the OD. There's a frontline hero that keeps them from getting and approaching this OD, so the OD is able to pile in a lot of right clicks. Once again, I think it comes down to how these lanes go. If they can get a good start for the OD, the lifesteal gets off to a reasonable start. I think a lot of it comes down to if these supports get under leveled, if the Oracle can actually have an impact in this early game. Same with the Ogre. If they fall behind, then they're just going to end up being food for this Ember and Weaver. They're supports that are very, very bad at defending themselves, good at defending and buffing other heroes, but you know, whenever they're behind, both of these heroes are extremely bad from behind. So if Infamous falls behind, then they're going to have some serious issues. With Centaur, not a hero that's super amazing from behind either, as he likes to be ahead, pushing up these lanes with Hood, Blink, pushing very aggressively. And being this extremely tanky frontliner, OD, not a hero that likes to be playing from behind, and Lifestealer cannot play versus a Weaver from behind. So I think Infamous definitely want to get off the ball on a good start. So we'll have to see how this laning stage goes for them.
It's interesting to see that. I feel like the support should have been something different. Oracle has something like a. Oh man, I forget the specific. It's less than a 50% win rate, even in the pro scene. Even though he is a decent defensive support, I think during the laning stage he doesn't do enough to keep people alive. And the Ogre tends to the aggression that you can display with an Ogre can be easily mitigated if the enemy aggressive support just focuses him. Then it just becomes, you know, this big old fat blubbery Ogre that does nothing.
Yeah, for sure. It's the first wave definitely going into 747's favor. Like we said, it's Ember. I mean, I don't know necessarily about favored. You do have more damage in the OD, but it's definitely a pretty even matchup. And 747 having a much better time than last game, where mid was kind of a stomp. So top for you, barely getting away.
They do have the slow on Snake King. He doesn't have the surge just yet. And oh, look at that! So with the body blocks, and get him. Yep, they get him with the lash. There we go. Got him down. Fortune's End.
Yeah, so DooWop opting to go for this aggressive dual lane instead of sending the Darkseer to the jungle. So trying to pressure this Lifestealer and keep the supports in the lane. So gonna give the Ember and the Weaver both good starts. I think this is a pretty good choice, as the Darkseer doesn't need to have the most amazing game this game. He can always catch up, and in the mid game they don't have great heroes at picking you off and pressuring on that much, so you can always just iron shell the waves down. It's not a game where the opposing team has a mech carrying hero that's having a really great game. That's a lot of times when you need to have your mech carrier to have a great game, is whenever the other team has a mech carrier that's having a good game, so you don't have that mech disadvantage versus like an Underlord or something like that. But this game they have a Centaur who's probably going to get punished pretty hard, and isn't the greatest at jungling. Does have the Calling Blades, who's going to start working on that, but Snake King should have a fine time up in this top, but now that he has Surge, it's almost impossible for them to really get any kills up here.
And then, on the other hand, I mean, you were talking about the mech and all that. Like, this Darkseer with a mech, he's so good at just forces enemies to have to stay in lanes to counter pushes, right? He's really maneuverable. He can create a lot of space for his team, and it looks like, you know, on the side of Infamous, they don't really have much counter push. Much ways to deal with that, let alone the Ember, who is caught in the Astral, or a Weaver who's going to be opposite pushing. Like, Infamous's draft looks really 5-man oriented.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm kind of curious what build this Lifestealer goes for. I think he may go for some sort of like a Midas, or maybe go for like the Maelstrom build up instead of the Desolator, because there's a Dazzle, and then also because he kind of wants to get really farmed this game, as his real only partner in crime to go around and get pickoffs is the Centaur, who's probably going to go for a Hood first. Gonna have a Blink pretty late into the game, and then also the Centaur is a hero that likes to stay in lanes and push them out, like you said. They don't really have a lot of lane pushers. Oracle and Ogre, both of those heroes can't really deal with lane pressure well at all. They require their cores too, so this Lifestealer may end up farming lanes a lot more than Lifestealers typically want to, instead of going around looking for fights, which is what they tend to prefer to do. Odie actually mixing it up in the skill build department, going for 1-1-2 and getting the early point in Arcane Orbs, so trying to punish the Ember that way by just pulling him down with these Arcane Orbs. We'll see how it plays out, as he is having an early lead in the lane, but it may degenerate reasonably quickly as this Ember, once he gets to like level 5 or so, if the Odie doesn't get really good they actually
they catch him in the fortunes, and the Astral gonna actually take down this Ember. Buryu is here. No, Ember survives! Oh man. He does get gunned down though by the Purifying Flames. Oh, that was close.
Not the worst thing in the world though. He is going to be able to TP back in with full mana and full HP, and Odie doesn't have a shrine. Both shrines used, so unless he dies here again, which I don't think is likely, as Odie, who said, very, very low on mana, so isn't going to be able to pressure the Ember very much.
Easy 100 gold. Buryu is here. He doesn't have any mana to charge out now, and he's the focus of all of this damage. 747 trying to burn. He gets both in those chains. Looks like he will be able to take down Mania. Oh no, not unless the neutral creeps are there to pick up the kill.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. The Ember not having the best laning start ever was pretty good early on, but now with the Odie with the 2 points in the Arcane Orb and then 4 points in the passive, with the Ember not in a position where he can really push up on him that much. So Odie might be able to just bully him out of the lane. As you can see him just walking up, just knocking on him with these Arcane Orbs, but his mana is pretty low. The Arcane Orb's not doing the most damage. Still pretty annoying for this Ember Spirit. He's running low on mana, doesn't have mana for the chains, and may try and set up for a kill here, but kind of hard for the Odie to get into range to set up for an Astral, and if he did, his mana would be too low, so gonna think better of it. Scared of the turnaround potential from the Spirit Breaker, and just gonna continue to farm. But if you look at the Weaver CS, and just complete free farm, has the Aqua, the Blightstone, and the Bottle up as well. While the Lifestealer having free farm as well, the Weaver definitely favor in just a on paper carry versus carry matchup. So the DooWop is fine with the way the lanes are going right now. The Darkseer having a decent time compared to the Centaur, who's not even up to his Tranquil Boots yet. So while the Ember falling behind sort of again, 747 a player that's perfectly fine from playing from behind. Very, very safe player, consistent player, and doesn't often throw, if at all, so if he's having a rough early start, then I think they're totally fine with that. He's just an extremely consistent player.
I feel like the Ogre Magi has been so much of a non-factor in this game. Like, looking at that Stinger, he just kind of walks back and forth from lanes, hasn't accomplished much, and then with an Ogre like that, you really want to make sure you win lanes, right? Where
yeah, it's actually
now it looks like he might
him as well.
Yeah, he's most likely dying here unless he can get some sort of luck and save.
A stun the Weaver is a nice choice. Instead of stunning the Spirit Breaker, but he still is going to go down unless the misses come out, which they do.
Oh, look at all this space created. The Weaver time-lapsing back, though, so now only Buryu's there.
Charge going to come out as well. Yep, should be okay.
Gonna take a tower hit, but he's good. 2.
And he's waiting to, yep, very nice. He waited till right up till he went up on top of that hill, so they didn't get vision of him, and then it TP's out immediately, so perfect timing for Buryu. They get the kill, force a lot of rotations over, so now the Oracle here as well, sneaking even more free space up at top, has the Soul Ring up and running, 300 gold, gonna start working towards that mech. And yeah, just a nice kill, continues to enable the Weaver, gives him some more space. Gonna start working on that Dragon Lance. Already up to 1350 gold, so almost has it completed.
He is going the no boots build though, so that's a memer.
I think it's quite
like
good
that.
this game. You don't really need the boots. You're gonna be shikuchiing around all the time. Not going to boots lets you get this bottle, which lets you stay on the map much more. You can keep these smaller items, and the boots don't really benefit you too much. Because you do have all this mana regen, you can just shikuchi around the map. You know, this Dragon Lance will give you some attacks, and give you some HP that the treads normally would. And yeah, just in general, boots on this hero can be sort of a waste at times. Or just something that's not necessary, so I actually like this build up quite a bit.
Oh, there we are. Self-Astral.
Wasting
Well,
the Stampede.
Stampede, yeah. A little bit of a miscommunication there. Now the OD might have to pay the price. You have the Fortune's End grabbing DooWop, but...
Yeah, there was a very
No
nice
saves
smoke.
there.
They pushed in bottom all the way, then everybody going to the shrine, using it, healing everybody up, and then everybody just running to this line immediately afterward, killing the OD. Now forcing all 4 heroes to be here. While Snaking continues to just keep top pushed in, farm off the Lightstealer farming as well, so almost has the armlet, having a pretty good game himself. Actually gonna finish it off in just a second now, so the Lightstealer at the very least having a good game, and the OD having a pretty decent game. But I would say they do have fine. You know, they get the nice kill on the OD. Everybody just sort of goes back to what they're doing. You are gonna shrine up top, gonna bounty rune, so not gonna be able to pick that up. But may match the Weaver up against the Dark, or against the Lifestealer up in this top lane. It's gonna have a hard time really dealing with this Weaver's prowess.
That is, I think, one of the
Radiant's
things.
middle tower is
Infamous,
under
they're
attack.
very much geared up to deal with the Ember. You know, that, like, in their draft, it shows that they were ready to deal with him, but this slippery little bug man is going to be such a thorn in their side. Is there anything that this OD in particular can do to, you know, besides a sheep stick at some point? Is there anything that he could do to really ease the Weaver tension, to make him a non-factor?
I mean, the Weavers as a hero just doesn't typically like to go BKB, so it's in general just a nice matchup for the OD there. He probably will eventually this game, as if he has a BKB, he's literally unkillable, so if he go for a BKB 3rd or 4th item. He may also go for a Manta, is pretty decent. Yeah, actually Manta's not great. Yeah, he'll probably go like Deso BKB or something after the Dragonlance, we'll have to see. Yeah, the OD can force him to play quite, or considerably more passive than you normally would. See him just sort of walk up and
They're engaging on the Lifestealer. They do pop the Stampede, and that was a good little stomp. They take down the Dazzle. The Oracle TPing out as fast as he can. Now Snaking running. He did get the wall off. The Lifestealer help try to take down this. Oh, the double edge. There we go. Yeah, Lifestealer's gonna punch him down. So that was a 3-for-1. Horrible. But the Weaver's here to clean up. The stomp not connecting. Now Weaver's here ready. He does have time lapse available. Throws out that swarm. Gonna give some vision, some minus armor. He's ready for. Ooh. He's stuck. Doesn't have enough mana for that time lapse yet. Oh! Entity's Eclipse almost taking Yelwar down. He's running up. There's no shrine available just yet.
It should be just fine.
Dire's
They're
middle
TPing
tower is under attack.
in. Going to refill his bottle, heal him up, so he will be able to skitter on over, and they may look for a fight mid now. As I really like this, just putting the Darkseer mid. All that fight is going on, letting the Ember farm the jungle, stay off the map, finish up his Veil. Can't get pressured. It is OD in the lane, and now you can see DooWop slowly starting to creep up in net worth after that. I've been top lane, and Weaver having a really good game so far, working towards that Desolator. Almost has the first Mithril Hammer as well as the Blightstone, so
Is under attack.
having a very good game. And with that Veil, like we talked about, they're gonna have these super slippery cores that Infamous just really aren't super suited to deal with. So, kind of worried for Infamous as this mid-game approaches. With some core items getting picked up on these slippery cores, if they may just get run over by the very, very good run at you draft by DooWop.
Look at this, Yawar just going deep in the enemy jungle, harassing this OD, preventing him from getting farm. I mean, he's not afraid of anything at this point.
Yeah, and all the meanwhile, the Dazzle farming mid, Spiritbreaker getting some levels top, so making a fair amount of space for his team. He skitters around, like you said, forcing the OD, or stopping the OD from farming. His lanes out. very far, and Dazzle actually may be able to take this mid tower, at least get some damage in. The Ogre rotates in to take the pressure off the tower, pulling off the creeps. So DooWop just spreading their XP and levels around quite a bit. I really like that, giving the Dazzle and the Spirit Breaker both their level 6s, so going to be much more adept at taking these big game fights. As they continue to just play around this mid lane, trying to take this tower. Oh, Centaur almost went down.
Ooh, almost taking himself down there. Meanwhile, mid, there's a big engagement. OG getting bursted down by the Ember, as well as his good friend Ogre falling. And then this is going to be a tower. Fortunate, the fortification's there just to buy some time, but 747 will take that tower.
Yeah, and you can see it, just the Ion Shell combined with the Weaver and Ember, just right on top of him at all times, just burning down extremely quickly. Bail up now as well, and 1200 gold, so may go for the Blink first, may go for the bots. We'll have to see, but the Centaur actually going for Blink, not the Hood, so really looking to get active right now with this Lifestealer, as they really need to. They need to look for some plays, as once they get the mech, the Crimson Guard from this Darkseer, he can make his team basically invincible with those couple of items once he gets up to him. So Infamous definitely feeling like they're on a timer. You can tell from going the Blink on the Centaur first and smoking, but none of DooWop shoving all the lanes very passively with the Flame Shield, with the Ion Shell, and immediately all zipping out. It's just so hard for Ants to get these lanes out like we talked about earlier. You know, their supports not great at shoving lanes. Their Centaur going for a Blink first, so he's not in a position to shove lanes or, you know, take care of that space that's being created. And really it's just the OD, and OD can, you know, he can farm some waves, but he can't farm everything on the map. So Weaver looks like he's just gonna
oh man, they catch out the Weaver. Good chunk of gold there, 500 going the way of the Centaur, so maybe that'll launch him towards that hood that you're talking about. It's that caster's curse, man. Just as we're talking about something.
Looks like they're gonna defend this tower, so they're not really willing to give this up as they feel they're strong right now. The Weaver up in 10 seconds, so Infamous definitely don't have the time to take this tower. Is that Ember with the Veil now as well, as he had that at the mid tier 1 fight for Dire, and all of them is just gonna back up, so they get the Weaver kill. It's a nice gold boost as the Lifestealer puts his Infest bomb into action, but DooWop's just gonna go right back to farming. It looks like they may actually smoke up, we'll have to see, but yeah, they're pinging the smoke on Clairvoyance, but sort of a little bit of indecision maybe. Looking like they want to move up to top lane, maybe. Yeah, okay, so it looks like they're gonna move down to bottom with this smoke. There's a lot of pings are coming out, trying to make something happen with this this Darkseer Ion Shell, while the Weaver goes and chills up top lane, finishes off his Deso as his damage is sort of running low right now, but the Deso will boost that back up to very threatening levels in just a bit.
I've noticed with DooWop, their movements are very surgical. Like they'll invisibility. They like to go in kind of this needle-shaped line, right? They'll have one person lead their charge, like just now. The rest of the team's gonna follow in. So now the brunt of the focus is gonna be on something like, say, the Spirit Breaker. But now, downfall then Centaur. The wall is in the center of this fight, so it's going to be keeping the rest of Infamous back. And I mean, that was a 2-for-1.
Yep. Although meanwhile, Yoar just take top tower and finishes up his Deso, so DooWop totally fine with that. I'm using the Centaur ult as well. Centaur going down again, and Centaur, like we said, not a hero that's great from playing from behind. He really likes to have a lot of items, be that super tanky frontline force, but he just has a Blink Dagger, not really able to do that. Not a hero that's, you know, he does have a good strength gain, is innately tanky, but versus heroes like this Ember and Weaver with all of this damage, as well as the Ion Shell on top of him, he's just gonna melt in these fights. As Darkseer having the mech up now and going for those Guardian Griefs, so inversely, Infamous is gonna have a very hard time bringing down DooWop's heroes.
I think it just comes down to, like, I don't want to say that there's no synergy with Infamous's lineup, but I don't know. I feel like, you know, the only...
You want to say it?
Yeah, I want to say it, but okay, so the Oracle forced the false promise himself to get out. There's like only one Lifestealer vessel, and that's with the Centaur, and he's already shown that. Yeah, he's already shown his Blink So now DooWop are gonna be on their heels about, getting caught out like the Weaver did earlier. That's most likely not gonna happen again unless they get lazy.
And like we talked about a little bit earlier, Infamous really only with one or
Dire's top
charge
tower.
coming in.
Charge, they grab him. The stun though, gonna be stopping that Nether Strike. Oh, they get him. Yep, Lifestealer's not gonna be TPing out of this with all the bashes. Huge burst of damage from 747. Now it's looking like DooWop are going to keep the pressure forward. Oh, huge bits of damage there on that OP. Annihilated by 747. Explosions of damage coming out. Weaver hitting hard. I mean, this Ember Spirit just bursting. And this is going to be a tower. Maybe even a tier 3 push.
Yeah, I think it's unlikely that they're able to take the tier 3, so not really worth the time to just chip away at it a little bit. Much rather get their lanes out or move to another part of the map as their next objective probably going to be Roshan, or unless they take some sort of a good fight and are able to more towers. It looks like they are going to try and pressure this mid tower as Infamous, as both their cores are in base for now, have to move back out, so not able to set up for this tower, and they are going to lose this tier 2 most likely.
Alright, so I was wrong about the position of the tower, but I knew they were going to pick a tower. I mean, they've got the momentum, right? If they just step back, like, they're just letting Infamous catch back up. So it's really, it sounds brutal, but they've just got to strangle Infamous. Keep them down, strangle them to death.
Yeah, they
Knox.
They know that Infamous really only wants to play one way, which is the Centaur going and looking for pickoffs with the Lifestealer, and whenever all your lanes are in and they know exactly what you want to do, it's very easy to predict how you're going to move around the map. So with all these lanes in, you can see top lane pushed all the way in. You know that most probably Infamous are playing around this bottom right side of the map, and DooWop know this. They immediately head up to top lane. They're going to take this tier 2 tower and then maybe even pressure Roche afterward. Because they're fine trading a tier 2 and Roshan for just a tier 1 towers. They can defend this mid lane with just one hero in just a second, as it looks like. 747 may be running over there, and yeah, he is. Already has 2,800 gold, so it's going to be going for that Radiance most likely. And getting pretty close to that already, so everybody's sort of migrating over to this Roche pit. Looks like they will be taking it pretty soon after this, take this top tower. They are hammering onto it.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
So let's see, we've got a shrine and a tier 2 being taken, all for a tier 1. Not the best trades for Infamous, but I mean, when you're behind, you got to take every little thing that you can take. It's actually their first tower in the game. Pretty depressing. So I don't know. They're not acting like they're too confident for Roche. Yeah, they're just gonna go back down, push out bottom, I guess. Nope, they're going back into Roche. Okay.
Yeah, I really like this pickup from Buryu, getting the HOD, sort of like we saw in the DC series. Getting this Ice Ogre creep, putting it on everybody. Really just is so good versus Lifestealer. And, just sort of another body up on these front lines to make space for this Ember and Weaver to scatter around and kite them, go in and out, and just burst heroes down. So with this Roshan dropping as well, it's going to be almost impossible for this Weaver to die. Has to make some major mistakes, or Infamous finding the perfect fight. But other than that, this Weaver almost no way for him to go down as they storm towards the Ogre. Looks like he's going to fall.
Oh man, yeah, he's done. Weaver just gonna pick him up with the Shikuchi. Meanwhile, we have DooWop. They're falling back. They're getting ready for their defense. And I don't know if they've got it in them. It's hard enough for them to kill Weaver one time. But now he's got that Aegis. He's very, very close to getting that Lincoln's. I don't want to say he's unkillable, but the man is going to be very hard to bring down. I mean, at this point, what is DooWop's avenue for success? I feel like they can't have an overly complex plan. The more parts to a plan, the easier it is to fail. But also, I just feel like as the game goes on, they're going to just get out carried as well.
Yeah, they just have to try and get these lanes out as much as they can and look for a good fight at the high ground. Try and find a hero out of position, burst them with the Centaur, Lifestealer combination, get the OD, some instacks up, and try and take the fight from there. But that's really the only options they have right now, are just to look for a hero massively out of position outside the base, or for some sort of a base fight. And they're gonna try and catch 747 up top, but right after this wave he's gonna sit back out, most probably. And you go to this hard camp, but he sees some shenanigans, so probably gonna sit back out. Yep, he does.
Like a stone.
Tears him apart there. It just feels like Infamous are falling apart. I think they're desperate for farm. They're all spread out. Like, they get caught so often. There's a buyback from the OD and the Stampede. Oh man, the Lifestealer's in the center of this. He does have his rage up, but that's going to be timing out very shortly here. 747 going in very deep, bouncing all over the place, doing large amounts of damage. The Shrine is here to at least help Infamous survive out this siege. Yep, Yawar getting stomped. They're catching them, but oh, the saving Force Staff.
Did that?
The Spirit Breaker did.
Oh, Spirit Breaker's Force Staff, okay.
Oh, the Weave just gonna help fortify this fight even more. Snaking, amazing vacuum there. It's looking like Infamous. Oh, is it a team wipe? Yeah, there's diebacks aplenty. That's GG. This game is over.
Yeah, it was very difficult for Infamous to draft. They said they needed to have a great early start, and while some other lanes went okay, just not good enough to save the draft disadvantage they had coming into the game. The DooWop just playing their draft very, very well. Just having one death on all of their, or on some. Darkseer afterward. I really like this Darkseer pick. It's super good in combination with the Ember Spirit because it is a core that can just run in with the Iron Shell combined with the Flame Guard. It's just unbelievable amounts of damage over time. Darkseer also very good versus Lifestealer because Lifestealer a hero that likes to walk around in vehicles and try and get pickoffs. The Darkseer able to shove in the lanes non-stop with these Ion Shells, so it gives you a lot of information on where the Lifestealer is and where they're rotating to, so you can predict it. The Surge also very good versus Open Wounds, a hero that buys mech, so you can maybe keep your teammates alive. And also be quite good versus the Lifestealer in lane because Lifestealer has a very hard time killing him. And I'm not sure why they took the Ogre, but maybe just something they value think is good versus Ember or something. But you know, the Sun is sort of hard to hit versus the Ember. You could dodge it quite easily with the Sun. What ban last game? I forget, but they left out
Drew?
One of the heroes.
10 seconds.
Drew actually hasn't been touched. That's interesting. Something was banned, but they DooWop left that out, and Infamous banning up the Slardar. So since DooWop had the first pick, able to get up that Ember Spirit, so one of the most contested picks this patch, with the stupid level 10 magic damage, as well as the Veil. It's just so much damage, and it's had an insane win rate.
Well, we will see if the win rate stands up to the challenge. DooWop are Radiant as well, right? I think Radiant, yeah, Radiant Ember Spirit is...
Dire team.
Oh man, it's got something like a 63% win rate or something like that. Something strong, something high.
Yeah, in the first couple of days of Dota Pit, it had like a 90% win rate.
Oh my god.
10 seconds remaining.
That's I'm surprised that didn't receive like an
5
instant
seconds remaining.
nerf. Because I remember, what was it?
That's not how Ice Frog rolls.
The Centaur Manta illusion spam back when the return would
Radiant
affect the
team
towers.
pick.
After like one day of that at a tournament, it got nerfed.
Dire team
Yeah,
back.
they treated that as if it was a bug. It was like it said fixed, not changed. So it was like that
Radiant
wasn't
team
intended.
back.
I guess Ember Spirit having balance in all things is completely intended. Kappa. So we have
Dire team back.
So Infamous return with the Ogre Lifestealer, and DooWop immediately with the Blight, or cancels animation with the Slight, and cancel it again with the
5
Remnants.
seconds remaining.
Overall, just kind of an odd Ogre pick, but we'll see how they put it to
Radiant
use. Centaur
team
third
pick.
I really love Centaur. I mean, I'm on the Suns fan train. I don't know if his Aghanims is good enough to pick up,
10
but
seconds remaining.
Stampede is just, I think, one of the best like
5
fight-oriented
seconds remaining.
skills. If your team is just focused on beating the ever-living shit out of the enemy team. If you're about all that,
time.
finesse, wombo combo, sure, maybe it's not the best, but with something like an Ogre Lifestealer, and then you Stampede, you just run at the enemy, beat them up real quick, stun them. And DooWop are going to
Dire
counter that, and they'll
team
say we can run at you even better. CNC, this is our 4th game together of the day,
10 seconds
and
remaining.
he's been killing it. If there are any
5
CCNC
seconds remaining.
subscribers out there, give a what's your favorite sub
Reserve
emote?
time.
CCNC.
That I have, or
Yes, of yours.
CCNC gracious.
Give them those.
Probably.
Throw those up. Oh man, I'm not partnered, so I don't have anything. So
GG.
yeah, give some feels amazing, man. That's probably my favorite one. So fucking funny. Anyway, we're here for Dota, not about people no one cares about. Infamous getting rid of that Slardar. That Slardar was
Dire
destroying them.
Yeah, it definitely had a huge impact